It's early Sunday morning at the Edendale Crank Up, and everyone at the traction engine area is busy getting the machines ready for another day of steam and display. The furries they pull around behind the engines are fully equipped, and I begin the day with some bacon and eggs, courtesy of the traction engine guys. Well, welcome to this little section in the Edendale Crank Up, and with me is Quinton, and welcome to our little show, Quinton.
Thanks, Bill.
Sister Adele. That's what it stands on here, A and Q. And what we've got here is a Marshall and a traction engine. What made you, I mean, how old are you guys?
30.
27 myself.
Yeah,
so,
and you decided to get a machine like this and enjoy all the fun of steam.
Yep. I guess we've grown up with it. So
our dad's got a traction
engine
engine
over
as
the
well.
back.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yep.
we learnt on a 8-horse single, which is a little bit big for me at times. And this wee one come up for sale from a really dear friend of ours, and we got first refusal on it. And being a Marshall for one, you're not going to say no. We're a bit biased towards barrels and whatnot, we're Marshall people really,
sure.
but it's more my size. It's 4-horse, so and it's compound, so it's a lot easier to drive than a single.
So you have easier to control this than a bigger one.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
unusual. What's about a bigger one that's uncontrollable?
Just, you need a bit more muscle power. So
Pull levers or turn?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Steering and forward and back and throttle on and off. She's pretty stiff. So you need your wheat bix in the morning.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between a Marshall and something else? Is this built in England?
Yeah, most of them here are built in England. Just like a car, you have different theories about what was good and what was bad and what worked and how they designed things back in the day. So
What tickles you about the design and how this works? Is it simple?
Yeah, it's simple. It works. I guess there was a lot of them built of all the makes and such, but I don't know. There's something about a Marshall, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, I guess to be fair, if Dad's engine was a barrel and we grew up with barrels, we'd be more biased towards them, wouldn't we? But it's a bit of rivalry. It's like the Ford Holden thing,
Sure.
Marshall barrel.
So there is a New Zealand history with this?
Yeah, so this engine was built in 1925 and it actually came as a road roller. So it was worked for the Invercargill City Council.
Making the roads.
Oh, okay. So the roads around Invercargill and extended
areas were built by this. It was driven by a chap called Lucius Trounson.
Lucius.
And he operated it for most of its working life.
Sure.
And then Stuart Leddington, who we bought the engine off, he bought it. It must have been very late in the 50s.
So when would this stop working for the council?
I'm not exactly sure on that, but it could have been
50s?
in the 30s, 40s, something like that. Yeah. It was one of the last engines to come into New Zealand, being 1925. So
Sure. Yeah. That's quite a modern one for these.
Yeah.
But I see in England some of those trucks, they're still like Foden and those are still building steam trucks into the 30s,
That's right.
And the average life of something like this, I guess, is 25 years. Doing whatever it does.
That's right. So to be still working 100 years later or such with some of these engines even longer, it's a tribute to how well they were built.
Absolutely it is.
Because they didn't have the best life, the best water or the best coal in their working day. So
really, there's a difference in water?
Yes.
Oh
Really?
yeah.
This engine had a lot of water go through it from the bore in Queen's Park and in Invercargill. It was very hard water. So when we purchased it, there was a lot of pitting and rusting in the boiler.
Okay.
So
getting very thin.
we had to do a lot of work.
There's a bore that we put down where we live. And the guy who did it, he said, don't wash your windscreen with this because it'll pit the windscreen.
Right.
And you can see, that's
Yep.
So nominally the boiler plate's about 10 mil thick, and it was down to 3 or 4 mil in places.
Wow.
So so that's why it wasn't steamed anymore.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you both drive this?
Yes.
Together, or one driving and one shoveling, and vice versa?
Well, one driving, so operating the throttle, so speed and shoveling the coal, and one person on the steering wheel to keep it on a straight line on the road.
I saw you earlier with you got your little oil can?
Oil can,
Yeah, so this is like a locomotive. The engineers that drive those
Yep.
always have one of these.
Yep, yep.
So-
And we saw one with the New Zealand Railways written on it, a great big huge thing, you know, big long.
Yes, yep, yep,
And he actually, oops, and a big pile of oil ended up with, ooh.
yep, yep.
But an oil can, a little oil can like that, and how many things would you need to oil with it?
Basically anything that's moving on it.
Really?
So there's, like you can see here, this is an oil cup for the big end bearing.
Yep.
And there's a wick in there that just slowly feeds the oil in during the day, so you just keep it topped up.
And you were doing something just in...
Yeah, so all the link motion, typically every time you stop for water, you'll get up and put some oil on that, and then you spend the rest of the day wiping it off again. So,
So this will be exactly the same as the guy who was driving this in 1925, 26 as an everyday job.
Yep.
Oil.
Yep,
So
yep.
he'd have overalls like your...
yeah, they probably had a bit fancier overalls and a tie, and he had a bowler hat and everything.
Oh, okay,
so,
yeah,
yep,
that's true. Yeah,
yep,
yeah.
yep. But he had the attire on for the day. Yep.
Now the fire's going and it's all
Yep,
rocked
she's
up, ready
hot.
to go.
She's it's up to about 120 psi now. Her operating pressure's 180, being a compound engine, so
Oh, okay.
Yep,
So,
yep.
so it's ready. She's ready to go.
ready to go. Yep.
Yeah, right. There's a little bit of, I mean, there's no steam coming out of anywhere.
Not at the moment. No.
Well, there's a little
Yep.
bit here, I guess.
A couple of weeps and leaks. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
did you get that?
Yep. Yep.
Can we hop in the cabin?
Yeah,
And just,
by all
see
means.
How she goes.
Yeah.
So both of you get in here?
Yep.
Yes,
She's
yep.
a bit tight, this
Yep.
one, for space compared to
You
the
get
bigger
on
engine.
Dad's
But,
and you sort of, whoa, I've got a lot of space up here. It's a lot bigger.
yeah.
Come and have a look at this, folks.
Okay, so we've got forward and reverse on this lever, which is also your brake. You don't effectively have a brake on these. You've actually got to put it into reverse or forward depending on the direction of travel to stop.
Really? So reverse slows you down?
Yes, yep. Same if you're going down a hill, you always go down the hill in the same gear that you'd be able to go up it in, so that you can stop if you have to, and that's effectively just putting it into reverse.
So you don't have a foot brake?
There's no brakes.
No brakes.
So if you're out of gear, you can't stop.
So jump off or get
Yeah. So you've got your forward and reverse, a throttle valve here, which obviously is like an accelerator, regulates the amount of steam, and also what's called the jigger here, which if we're on the wrong stroke, she won't start all the time. So by using the jigger, it takes the steam from one cylinder to the other, so that it'll click over. You've got top gear out here, so just by sliding it into place, get through pin to hold it there, and then we've also got first and second here, so small gear driving the large one, for a medium size driving medium is second there. We've got the crankshaft, the second shaft, which drives the gear under this guard here to the third shaft, which then goes down into the diff and the pinion, which is under the big gear guard on the inside here. Some engines only have 3 shafts, so the flywheel actually spins in the opposite direction to the way you're moving, because you've got the 4.
What Quinton and Adele are going to do, as well as let us see the marshal going along, they're going to head off to the tractor pull competition they're having at Edendale and give their traction engine a bit of a workout. It seems to me there's absolutely nothing light about a traction engine. A relatively simple and made back in the day before welding, so as you can see everything's riveted together. And you may have heard Adele say it's only 4 horsepower. And in the world of tractor pulls, of course you're competing with tractors up to 200, 300, all sorts of horsepower, but are way more than 4. So here we go, we've got 4 horsepower and we're just going to see how they get on. The idea of a tractor pull is the further you pull it, the more weight goes on to the thing and it gets harder to pull along. Now let's have a listen to the traction engine as it starts to work. starting to wheel spin a wee bit, but that's 4 horsepower of steam power, which is just incredible. And you can see how far they pulled the slabs, and everybody appreciates what they've just done. So now it's time to turn their machine around and trundle back to the area where the traction engines are. Edendale Crank Up Days are an excellent family event, and if you get a chance in 2017, I think you should take the family and go down and enjoy yourself. Tractor pulls aren't as uncommon as you might think. We've attended quite a few around the country with various clubs, and at the Mystery Creek Field Days, the big boys of tractor pulls show off their skills. But good on you guys, well done. Well, congratulations, Quentin.
Thank you.
I have to say, one of the things that's missing in this vintage scene, I suppose, is people like yourselves. The younger generation coming through, and to see people like yourselves right into this is just great to see. So once again, congratulations, and we'll see you out in the big parade ring with all the others later in the day.
Sure will.
So there you go, the masters of traction engines. Good on you guys.
Thank you.
We would like to conduct an audience survey. Unlike mainstream TV, we're not rated, so we don't know how many people watch our show. So we asked if you could give us a minute of your time and go to our webpage at lowgear.co.nz and click on the audience survey page. You'll see a set of 4 numbers to send us. Just click on the email address and send us your 4 numbers. It's as simple as that. If you aren't on the internet, you could just give me a ring at 536 5327, or perhaps write how many people in your place watch our show on the back of a postcard and just post it to PO Box 28221 Beachlands, Auckland, and postcodes 2147. If you enjoy our Low Gear series, your help in this will help us keep Low Gear coming to your place. So thanks for helping us out here, and we look forward to hearing from you. Out West Tours operate out of Westport on the coast and take tours up to the Stockton coal mine. They also do tours into John Curry's spectacular valley, and for the more adventurous, a 4x4 trek into the Mackley. So get a group together, give Mickey a call on 0800 688 937. That's 0800 688 937. In this little section, folks, we're back in Thornbury in the bottom of the South Island at the Thornbury Vintage Machinery Club, and with me again is Norrie, who's the font of all knowledge with farm machinery. And what we've got here is a Moline from, and that's what I said, the Moline Plowing Company. No relation to the tractors that we've seen that's got Minneapolis Moline written on it.
Yes, these are the forerunners of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these are the forerunners. Built these things before they got the later model Moline, Minneapolis Moline. Yeah,
so
same outfit.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the oddest machine, you've got to say, with the 2 big wheels in the front and sort of drag the thing along. But I see it's got holes in those big wheels. Is that for lugs or something?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
So
yes.
To help pull this plough.
That's right.
So it's a one-piece ploughing machine.
That's right. And you can remove the plough. And the Moline Plough Company also made a binder and a set of discs. To unhook the plough, you pull this pin out here, you see.
Oh, yep.
And there's another one down there in the front. 2 pins. They're an American machine, but they're designed on the old horse concept, where the horse was out the front,
yep.
You plough behind, and you sat over the plough. Under here, it's an electric ploughing light. Yeah, to show you how you plough, but it doesn't show you where you're going, you see. There's no lights on the front. And to my knowledge, there never has been anything on the front. This is your steering brakes. Yeah, you can, one forward, forward for one left-hand side, back for right-hand side. Diff lock. A 1917 tractor with a diff lock, almost unheard of. Clutch, it's on the back position, out position. Gear lever, 1 forward, 1 reverse. It's in the reverse position now. And it's the one you go down to the go ploughing in top gear. And when you get there, you still plough in top gear. Because I only got 1 year. Yes, yeah. But to have a ploughing light in 1917, why no indication where you're going, whether you climb over a cow in the paddock or bad luck. But this is it should show you you're ploughing, like to watch you ploughing. And it's one of the most awkwardest machines I've ever used for ploughing, because when you're actually ploughing, if you're not going absolutely straight like that,
Yep.
and when you put a bend in the mark, when you go to straighten your furrow and you try and get take the kink out of the line, if you push it that way, it pushes the plough narrow. And if you want to get it away a wee bit, if it's ploughing too narrow and you want to go more, you twist it round, it puts the plough back in the bigger furrow. So you've got an air hook in your furrow, like.
So you wouldn't take this to a ploughing competition?
I have had it in a ploughing competition, but I didn't mind coming last. Because it's a digger board.
Oh, right.
Now that's a digger board, very popular in America, but no good in these New Zealand conditions because it's too wet here. And to start off with the tractor, originally it was imported into New Zealand by the Mackenzie brothers at Walter Peak Station, across the lake at Wakatip, Lake Wakatip, from Queenstown. And it was discovered by Thomas Mackenzie, who was an electrician actually by trade. He discovered this tractor over there, and he told his 2 sons, "There's a good old tractor over at Walter Peak, go get it." And they did. They purchased off the Mackenzie brothers, and it still stayed in the second line of Mackenzie brothers. In other words, there's Elwin at Otahuti and his other brother at Arawia. And neither of them are alive today. They've died on, and it's been in the Thornbury Tractor Club now for over 50 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the originals that the club started off with, along with the Avery.
So this would have come to New Zealand on a boat?
Yes.
On a steamer, I guess, back in its time?
Yes,
yeah.
I don't know how, it wasn't around in those days.
No. And then they had to take it to Queenstown, which would have been a
take it
mission.
across there with a steamer.
Yeah,
it was shifted across there and shifted back again by the steamer. Yeah. But it's definitely been in the club for over 50 years. Yeah.
You're telling me this is electric, and on here it's got an electric governor. Maybe
Yes,
just tell me
yes,
about that.
Yes. That's your ignition. There's one, there's 2. That's the one she runs on. That's electric governors. And for
1917?
1917. And originally, when she used to go to number 3, she used to drop wide open, and then she used to take off. So you ought to go from 2 to 4.
Quickly.
Yeah, and then she should remain docile. But if you hit 3rd, look out. You did a charge down the paddock. Yeah. But that's all been repaired. That's back to normal. Yeah. You had to watch, she's getting a bit worn on the ball joints up there at the front, and sometimes she'll lock. If you let that clutch go with just in hand, it'll go too far down and you won't stop her. So you've got to have an emergency stop on the stop button.
Okay.
Yes.
So the pull the pin button.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
The plough consists of a single furrow, semi-digger, and what intrigued me was the lift on it. This chain here fits in a hole in the side of this thing, and we leave it off because it could get into trouble. To put the plough into gear, you kick that lever forward, that goes up, and this is your ploughing depth. You put that in where you want it to go ploughing, you know. And that thing, when you push that lever, it lets her go here. And to raise it out of the ground again, you put your foot on that. And that makes a clutch here go in. This is a V clutch, like a tapered clutch. And when you push your foot on that, it winds the chain up, you see, and it pulls that lever down. And that's how you get it out of the ground. Yeah. And to let her into the ground, it's the same way. You give this a kick, that moves that up, down she goes.
Yeah, so you preset it with this little locking ring.
That's right, yeah,
so
what depth you want, yeah.
And this will just go up by itself.
Yeah, that
so
just goes
not going to
straight
whack
up.
you in the head because you're sitting back there somewhere.
Yeah, that's right, that's the way it works, yeah.
Well.
Yes. gears, one forward, one reverse. You go over to the paddock in top gear and you start ploughing in top gear. Or you can have it the other way around. You go to the paddock in low gear, still in low gear. So it's only got one speed forward, one reverse. And I'm sure there's not many men, like you can pass it with a walking pace. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
This is the rack and pinion steering, like Morris Minors. They came out in the 1950s, this thing came out in 1917. Steered the same way. I just forget how many locks to lock, but it's
I think it
several
was
anyway.
32 on that on the traction engine we looked at the other day. 32 from one side to one
The traction engine's got 32, this one must have 30. Yeah, that's your diff lock. That's your gear shift, one forward, one reverse. That's your clutch. I think that's the gear shift. It's the gear shift there, yeah. Yeah. To change gear, you just click it forward or reverse. You only got the two
Yeah,
gears.
and I just saw no electrical wires going through.
That's the wires going from your shut off and the electric governors. Yeah. Moline Plow Company, Moline, Illinois, in USA. Moline Plow Company again on the end of the petrol tank. We lose that petrol tank, I don't know what we'll do. Yeah, and used to be a sticker up here, Moline Plow Company, but it's been painted over. The old machine's been painted about 3 times in its 50 years the club's had it. Yeah. Belt pulley for driving a chaff cutter or threshing mill, but I don't think you had the power to utilise the threshing mill, but they did use a lot for cutting chaff. Here we have coil ignition. Normally, at this age, a tractor only had magnetos, and this is way ahead of its time. Generator in here, starter down here, oil, no dipstick, it's all done by gauge, oil pressure, switch here. What else is there? No, that's about all, yeah. Electric starter, and yeah, that's the way it works, yeah. But very original, everything's original. And one feature again of the Molines is this wheel was always filled up with concrete to give it a balance on the motor, and everything is actually offset to the left, but to give her equalised traction, they weighted it on this side with a concrete block. And there's no Moline, I've never seen a Moline yet, even in Australia or New Zealand, that hasn't got that. That's the standard equipment.
And the other side hasn't got one.
What's that?
So the other side doesn't look like this at all.
No, it's see,
So you can't
motor and everything's on that side. Yeah?
And you're not going to get a flat tyre, so there's no need to swap.
Oh, no. But if you put the grips on it,
Yes.
like you put a grip, and it just about wrecks this, because when you get into hard ground, it actually shakes backwards and forwards, and that is actually why we have retired it from ploughing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
like I don't really want to see it plough again, because it's got this far. Those things will smash, you see, like with the vibration of it going backwards and whipping backwards
And
and
it's
forwards.
one of the only ones left, so you've got to look after it. Yeah. We would like to conduct an audience survey. Unlike mainstream TV, we're not rated, so we don't know how many people watch our show. So we asked if you could give us a minute of your time and go to our webpage at lowgear.co.nz and click on the audience survey page. You'll see a set of 4 numbers to send us. Just click on the email address and send us your 4 numbers. It's as simple as that. If you aren't on the internet, you could just give me a ring at 536 5327, or perhaps write how many people in your place watch our show on the back of a postcard and just post it to PO Box 28221 Beachlands, Auckland, and postcodes 2147. If you enjoy our Low Gear series, your help in this will help us keep Low Gear coming to your place. So thanks for helping us out here, and we look forward to hearing from you. Low Gear's ute is a Mahindra pickup 4x4 and is sponsored by Mahindra New Zealand. On our 2016 4x4 trek in the South Island, we took the Mahindra along to give it a serious workout over 12 days of very different terrains. This is day 2 of our South Island trek, and we've gone in from the Denniston mine and we come out by the Iron Bridge. And on the way we have to cross the Mackley River, which is what we've done. and the Mahindra's just crawled through that, no problem at all. Up on the other side, which is just a little bit tricky through all those rocks, and then we have another small river to cross before we get out on the other side and on our way back out again. Driving the Mahindra is Roger Humphreys, and with him is his wife Dot. Roger's been on the show before with the Higgins Park Museum in Wakefield near Nelson, and he's also an experienced four-wheel driver, and it'd be good to get his comments at the end of the 12 days. It is a bit tricky here because there isn't a great deal of room between those rocks, and the Mahindra just gets on with it, and I'm very impressed already, and it's only day 2. You can find out more about Mahindra at mahindra.co.nz, or you can follow them on Facebook. Welcome back. Norrie's going to have a go at starting this old girl. That fan's pushing the wind that way. Yeah, keep it forward. Here's a little advert for the Moline Universal Tractor, and it's dated March 1918. And it talks about how this machine has revolutionised cultivating. It goes on to say that you can fit a variety of farm utensils underneath it, and it'll tow them along and do the job wonderfully well. And you'll have no more need on the farm for horses. Marvellous. I've seen a lot of things in my time, but this is going to be the original sort of time when they started inventing things to go on wheels. But to have all that modern equipment on it, like the distributor.
Well, I was thinking it's 100th year.
This is 100 years old. Next year.
It's in its 100th year.
Yeah, of course it is. Oh, what, is it easy to turn off? Just turn the little switch.
Oh, well, it got started again, though.
Oh, there's plenty of pushes.
Yeah, there are pushes. Yeah.
That's marvellous, Norrie. Well, there you go, folks. That's a piece of New Zealand history from starting off in Queenstown. Come here from America, and here it is at Thornbury in its 100th year, doing very well.